Refinancing a mortgage in an Illinois divorce. Dividing a home in a divorce can be just as complicated as ending the marriage itself. When you marry someone, you make a promise that can last for years and years. When you take out a mortgage, you also make a long-term financial promise. Extracting yourself from a mortgage often goes hand in hand with extracting yourself from a marriage. That is why working with a Chicago divorce lawyer is so important during this process. A mortgage is a document in which the owner pledges title to real property to a lender as security for a loan described in a promissory note. A deed, by contrast, is the written document that transfers title or ownership of real property to another person. In a divorce, the mortgage may be in one or both parties' names. The deed may also be in one or both parties' names. If both spouses are on the mortgage, both remain obligated to the lender. One party can only be removed from that obligation by selling the property and satisfying the mortgage, or by refinancing the mortgage into the name of the spouse keeping the home. If one spouse intends to refinance, they will first obtain an approval letter indicating the lender may lend the balance to them. This approval letter does not automatically transfer the mortgage or property into one name. However, it suggests the spouse can likely refinance successfully. Illinois courts divide marital property in just proportions considering all relevant factors, including the economic circumstances of each spouse and the desirability of awarding the family home to the parent with primary residence of the children. Illinois law does not require an equal division of marital property, but an equitable division. If a refinance allows borrowing more than the existing mortgage balance, the excess funds may be used to buy out the other spouse's interest. The amount of equity is typically determined through an appraisal conducted during the refinancing process. Illinois courts employ a fair market value standard when determining the value of marital property. For example, if a home with a $200,000 mortgage is appraised at $300,000, there may be $100,000 in marital equity to divide. A court could order a refinance large enough to pay off the old mortgage and provide funds to buy out the other spouse's share. Sometimes lenders hesitate to finalize refinancing during an active divorce because issues like maintenance, child support, and asset division are not yet resolved. Instead, spouses often agree in their marital settlement agreement that refinancing will occur after the judgment for dissolution of marriage is entered. The agreement typically requires the spouse keeping the home to refinance within a specific time period and remove the other spouse's name. During that period, the spouse awarded the property is usually responsible for mortgage payments, taxes, utilities, and related expenses. If refinancing does not occur within the required time, the agreement may require the property to be listed for sale and the proceeds divided. This protects the spouse whose credit remains tied to the mortgage. Although spouses may agree to indemnification, lenders can still pursue both parties if payments are missed. If a spouse fails to refinance as ordered, the other spouse may seek to have them held in contempt. A valid contempt order must include a purge provision that allows the person to comply and avoid sanctions. If the refinance is impossible because the lender refuses to cooperate, the purge provision may be invalid. In many cases, refinancing proceeds smoothly once the divorce terms are finalized. However, if you anticipate problems refinancing your marital home, speaking with a knowledgeable attorney can help you understand your options. An experienced lawyer can guide you through property division, refinancing requirements, and enforcement issues under Illinois law. The right law firm can help protect your credit, your equity, and your future financial stability. If you are dealing with refinancing a marital home in a Chicago divorce, contact the law office of Russell D. Knight at 773-334-6311, 1165 North Clark Street, number 700, Chicago, Illinois, 60610, United States.